Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today we're going to be using one of my cut files in my shop. It's a basket weave cut file is what I've called it. Show you what I mean. We're also going to be using the MFT Polar Bear Pals. I'm not sure if this one's still available, but I will link it down below if it is. If not, I'll try to find something similar, but I absolutely love this set for Christmas cards or like winter themed cards. So my basket weave cards are these panels that have slits cut into them, so that you can like weave other pieces of paper in and out however you like. So you can kind of like go back and forth between the rows and make whatever kind of pattern you want with those colors. So I'll show you a few examples that I've made before. I did I'll take that out of the packaging. So I did this Thanks a Bushel using some Lawn Fun and Simon's stamp sets, but I did a tonal background. So I used the Nina Desert Storm cardstock, and I did a like 2 under 2 over pattern. So it made it look like it was basket weaved. And then this other one that I did it with a black background and did rainbow stripes as a like standard hello card. And it looks like a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So you can fit about 16 like 1/4 inch strips in here, which is what I've kind of planned out for today. Today we're going to try making a scene. So for this card I did a 1 under 2 over pattern, and then I kind of staggered it, doing 2 rows of each of the colors, but it kind of looks like it's a diagonal pattern with the black. But today we're going to be trying to make a scene with this. I've not attempted this yet. I just kind of like came up with the idea yesterday. So we're going to do like a twilighty kind of background where it's like transitioning into night. And at the bottom it'll be a tonal white on white for like a snowbank. We're going to be doing the holiday card for today. So I cut all these strips using my Mama Elephant's die cuts that cuts out strips. It cuts out I think 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2. These are the quarter strips. And I cut out a bunch of extras and made even like just a stripy background for a card. So this will be like a bonus card, but it's not anything to do with this. It's just I used up the strips. So I kind of want to weave the background so that there's maybe like clouds visible. So we'll see how that works. Today we're experimenting together. I don't normally plan out my cards anyway when I make them. I just make them as I go. I do a lot of prep work now before because I find it a lot easier. It also keeps my videos a bit shorter. So that they don't get too long. I do like to talk while I'm doing it just because it's easier for me than doing a voiceover and trying to remember what's coming up next and how to describe it. So I do like talking as I'm going through things, and then I'll speed through the process as I go for any like coloring that I do or any like gluing or fiddling with foam tape as usual. But I'm just going to start at the top with this one, and I think the very top one I'm actually just going to go under the edge. Like these 2 edges are basically like the frame, and then the slits cut like a 1/4 inch down and a 1/4 inch from the bottom. But this one I want just a full strip across the top, and then you can just kind of push it up. And then for the next one I'm gonna always start underneath because this will give me the frame, and then maybe I'll go over 3 under 2, and then across 5 under 1, and then across 4, and then kind of push it up. Okay, and this is basically going to give you like a pixely look. So I'm going to go over under the edge, over 2, under 4, over, 2, under, 4, and then over 4, I think. And then this is kind of, oops, I'll be able to move these around later. So this is kind of like forming my clouds. So the next one, I think I'll just go over all of them. And then that will be like my first set of clouds. And then maybe this one I will go under, over, under. Then over. Under. If you want, you can probably clip these in place. I wouldn't start gluing them in place yet, just in case you need to move things around after you try to figure out your layout. And I'm gonna go under 2. And again, it should hold about like 16 of these 1/4 inch strips, which is what I have accounted for. But if I need to add one more, I'll probably just add more and more of the white for the snow. And you could always use like a paper clip or something if you have one to hold this down. So I think I'm actually gonna go, that'll be just like a bitty cloud, and then I'll do another one of these. This one I'm gonna fix because I don't like this cloud. I'm just gonna go under all of those. And like if you want, you can make like all of your clouds uniform, or you could change it up so like these two are a little different. I might change these around a bit after. I don't think I want this many clouds, but I might stick to the one shape, so I'll have to move them around a bit. But I'm trying to decide what shape I like better for the cloud. I guess these two shapes are actually pretty good. Another way to plan this out would be to like make a pattern, I guess, on like graph paper, because you'll know you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about 15 squares across, and then about 16 squares down, 15 to 16, depending on what thickness of cardstock strips you're using. Like you could use thinner ones and do a lot more. You could use thicker ones and do less. I think for this, I'm going to keep the clouds a little, actually I like these two little ones down here. You could also do that too if you wanted to do clouds. I get, but maybe do the thinner ones towards the bottom because they usually like dissipate a little bit. So maybe do one row ones, do the thicker clouds up top, or the opposite. You could do it where there's bigger clouds at the bottom and then they kind of like they dissipate towards top, which might be a good idea for these top ones. Maybe I will fix those. So maybe the top 2 rows are solid, and then I don't want 2 that are 4 each, so I'll have to reweave this 3rd one as well. And you don't have to use the same strips all the way down. I like to because it looks nice, but like you could, like I said, these are 1/4 inch strips. But you could have, if you're gonna do the top 2 solid like this, you could do the top one as a 1/2 inch strip. And then this I will change to a 3. Okay, I'm gonna start over and I'm gonna add glue. But I'm just gonna add glue to the outsides. This way they won't move, and if I do need to take them up and move them for whatever reason, it's gonna ruin the back of the paper and not the front. And I'm just adding a little bit. And then I think I'll speed through this process now that you know like my thought process for this. I'll just speed through it, and if you want, you guys can like slow it down and watch it a little bit more carefully if you're going for like the pattern. But for now I'm just gonna speed it up. So now we have our like pixel clouds. And then if you wanted to, you could add little bits of glue underneath some of these areas to help hold it down. And if you have your pattern planned out right off the bat, it might be easier to glue these strips down. It is a bit more difficult to add the glue after. It's not impossible, but it does get a little messy. Okay, and then we're just gonna start the snowbanks, and I think I'm gonna go over 3, under 3, right across. Over 3, because that seems to work best. Just because there are like 15, so it's not even. Okay. And then I'm going to do the opposite in the next row. This is where it becomes tight when you're doing it towards the bottom. I might actually have to cut some more white strips. And especially when you're doing like a repeat pattern like this, where it's the same every other row. And because I'm doing white on white, I really don't have to fill in all of this area. So maybe I won't cut more. Maybe I'll just like space it out a little bit. Like you don't have to fill it like this all the way down. You can see that like when you're doing these types of patterns, you actually can't get them like right up against one another anyway, which is why less rows are able to be put in for those other examples that I showed. I'll probably fit in 2 more. Maybe 1 more. It's getting really tight. But I think I might just leave it at this, and then I'm just gonna shift this one down and then just like kind of evenly space these out, just because it is white on white and I'm going for like a snow look. And then you can use your mat to just make sure that they're straight and evenly spaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this actually worked out pretty good because of the way the spacing is. So I'm able to get away with that. But I think I'll just glue the white edges down and leave it at here. And like I said earlier, this is like my first time experimenting with this kind of method. Like before I was doing either just color stripes, tonal options, and this one I'm just kind of building a scene with it. So I would like to experiment with this a little more for different kinds of scenes. But yeah, that looks actually kind of fun. I like that. It adds a nice like depth of texture. So we can just stick that to a card base. I might cut out another border. My border got a little dirty. So let's just glue, you know what, I'm gonna use foam tape to glue this down. Hey, that's actually kind of fun. It almost looks like little icebergs outside in the water too. It could be like, doesn't need to be a sky. I am gonna put a polar bear on this. I was thinking maybe this guy, or maybe this one. This is actually not a winter set, but I always use it for like winter and holiday cards. And I think this one's my most used one. Let's use this guy. So I'll just play music while I stamp and color these. You guys know the drill. I'll just use the back of this card. There, that way we're not wasting any scraps. And I have the coordinating dies for these ones because I bought those when I was first starting. So I'll cut it out with that probably a couple of times just to give it a bit more stability, as it is going on a pretty textured background. But for now we'll just stamp and color this guy, and then I will come back. Okay, so today I left in a little bit of die cutting for you guys. I have an old Cricut Cuttlebug machine that I've been using since I started like 6 years ago. I love it, and I use the scrapbook.com magic mat on the top. You're supposed to like cut into it top to bottom, but I find that cutting into it so that the sharp edge of the die is pointing up into it, it just like it gives a better result than doing it the other way. So I think I just colored this guy with like matching colors. I think it looks very cute, and then we can put like a little sentiment underneath him. This is another old set, but I think there's a similar stamp and a newer one, but I think I bought this one when it came back out of retirement a few years ago. This one's gonna say sending warm hugs. This is one of my like most used sentiments. And trying to decide if I want it on white, and maybe I'll stamp it black on white, and then I'll just, or maybe I'll do gray. I'll do the slate. This is what I use to stamp my logo on the back of my cards. I always do it in slate. I don't do the black. So that's our card for today. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of this technique and this cut file. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.